depending upon the size of your organization or your companies you go through, and sometimes the geography of it, will it ever expand past its current borders in the county that it's in, or the state that it's in, or the country that it's in as you go through? It just depends. But regardless, the global changes, especially with some that we're going to talk about here, will have an impact on your company at some point as you go through. Let's talk about some of the massive changes as you go through. New markets means new customers. A lot of times you have developing countries as you're going through, and they're getting a larger economy, and there's huge opportunities that are sitting there. You have an emerging middle class in China, also in India as you go through. They simply didn't exist 20 years ago, but now when they're developing, and as they develop, they have more expendable income, and they're looking for expanding their own lifestyle to make it easier as you go through, which means there's a lot more opportunity for you. Also, there's the aspect of moving production facilities that can lower labor costs. We're not talking a little bit, we're talking cutting labor costs from where they are today down to 1/20th of what they are today as you go through. Information technology now allows for massively rapid, efficient, and effective communication. You can communicate a message around planet Earth in a matter of minutes now compared to days in years past as you go through. A couple of some of the changes, you have the European Union, United Kingdom. Recently, they went through, you had a whole aspect of United Kingdom left. You have other people talking about it. You have different aspects of NATO as you're going through, which means better trading opportunities for free countries as you go through, as NATO becomes even larger, to worry about the upcoming Russian dominance they hope to impose on other nations around it. You have that aspect of it. You have really a major deal with the USMCA agreement, United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. It really is an update from the old NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, much better than it used to be. Once upon a time, China was the US #1 trade partner for almost 2 decades as you go through. Now, with really the USMCA, Mexico, the first year of implementation, became the #1 trade partner, Canada #2, and China #3 as you go through. That's a big difference. And you also have improved economies in all 3 nations. And on top of that, a much better unified aspect of what happens in business as it goes across the world. You also have several economic forces in Asia becoming much different than we anticipated. Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, they're becoming economic forces. Little Vietnam as you go through, with all of its coasts as you go through, now is becoming almost a world force, as you had different aspects of tariffs hitting China as you go through. You also have Thailand, you have Bangladesh, India. They're becoming huge in the aspect of growth in Asia. That is definitely somebody that you want to pay attention to for market share and also labor share as you go through the process. You have the General Agreement on Tariffs, Taxes, and Trade. Their goal is to reduce tariffs globally. Now, sometimes trade barriers is much more larger than anything called a tariff. A tariff tends to be a tax, where a trade barrier means that try to sit down there and raise rice in Alabama and try to sell it to Japan. Japan, oh, they may not have a tariff to keep you out of their country, but they have a local tradition that you must buy Japanese rice. Only Japanese rice should be on your table. And it's a cultural thing. So how do you go about doing that as you go through? So you have different aspects. It's more than just tariffs. It really is trade barriers as you go through. There's now 100 member nations as you go through. They're all in there primarily to promote their own products, to make certain there's enough barriers to their goods. In the meantime, they need to break the barriers down for their own nation to let more people in as you go through. Continual expansion for reducing costs is a big thing, but also continual expansion to open new markets. That means hiring more people, whether it's your initial, you want to have an aspect to export to that country, or set up new factories as you go through, new methods of marketing as you go through, new sales offices. Regardless, this topic of global changes has a massive impact on human resources. You'll see some of the things that you're going to have to struggle with if you have a expanding global company as you go out there, making certain that you have people that you can trust to be in those countries, people that you know from the home office going over there. What does that mean to them? What does it mean to